Bill Gates is on a mission. The Microsoft co-founder turned philanthropist is speaking out about the FBI's encryption battle against Apple, saying he believes the solution is all about striking a balance between civil liberties and governmental safeguards. But when Bill and his wife, Melinda, stopped by earlier this week, they had something else on their minds, and I had a chance to speak with them about their foundation's annual letter and the issues they care deeply about. It is a delight to have you both here with us. Thank you. And there's no applause sign. That came really from the heart.
Sweet.
So appreciate the letter that you all put out every year. And Bill, you decided to do something different this year, to direct it to teens like we have here in the studio with us right now. What was the purpose behind that?
Well, the initial inspiration came from a high school newspaper where they interviewed us and asked us what superpower would we like to have. And we were kind of surprised when Melinda talked about time and I talked about energy, that those really do relate to the inequity that we've got to solve in the world. And so it's the young generation that's got the innovation and the perspective that'll help drive what probably will take a generation or more to fully achieve.
And that's the purpose of having these teens here, the next generation. So you, more energy, your superpower, more time, especially as it applies to women around the world?
If you poll young teens today, they think that women are going to be different in the home 15 years from now, different than their grandmother's generation, but it's actually not true, especially when you look at this unpaid work that women do at home.
And that disparity in time impacts all of us, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And when I talk about unpaid work, it's some of the caring things we want to do at home, like care for our children or the elderly, but it's things like chores. And if you are spending your time, particularly in the developing world, carrying water, chopping wood, or even in the U.S., doing laundry or chores, it means you don't reach your potential.
And we want to get to some of the solutions that you are suggesting, but first, Bill, more energy. Tell us why that is your superpower that you want.
Well, energy is probably more fundamental than people realize. Life started really improving a few hundred years ago when we got energy. And so the idea that you can just flip that light switch, that's pretty magical. We all take that for granted, and yet there's several billion people who don't have it.
For you both, let's lay out some ideas and solutions, especially as this next generation is here in front and hanging on every single word that you're saying. So when it comes to more time, what are some of the things that you're proposing?
Well, first of all, recognize the amount of time that women are paying on unpaid work, then reduce it, and then redistribute it inside of the household. If we do those three things, both at a policy level and directly in our homes, it fundamentally transforms society because you open up women's potential.
So where's Gabe?
Oh.
Okay, Gabe, what's your question?
I have a question for Bill. So we all know about wind and solar technologies, but I'm wondering what other technologies are you excited about that are less well known?
Well, it's a very good question. Wind and solar, if we could bring the price down even more dramatically and be able to store that energy because it's intermittent, that's one path to a solution. Another path is, instead of taking the sun and making electricity, which is hard to store, to directly make gasoline. So it may come in a form that we don't recognize as one of our key sources right now.
My question is for Melinda, and as I am a citizen of a developing country, Pakistan, so I've seen girls going through a lot of obstacles in their professional and academic careers. So I wanted to ask that, how do you suggest them to overcome this problem of time poverty, and how do you think that would help them succeed?
First, recognizing that this is a problem and using your voice in political participation. I would say, in terms of reducing this inequity, go into STEM fields, whether it's science, math, technology. That's where the innovation is going to come. Innovations that help women spend less time cooking or less time gathering water, or a washing machine that works more efficiently. And then lastly, I would say redistribute the workload in your own home. You need to talk with your partner, even before you're married, about whose roles and responsibilities. What are the hidden expectations of this work?
And you saw her husband was looking at her as she was responding to that. He's like, nodding.
We've had those conversations, yes.
But thank you very much for your question. And Nolan, you're going to have the final question for us?
So how can the simple act of turning off the faucet or even the lights greatly affect how we save our energy on a larger scale?
Well, I think it's important we're aware that Americans use twice as much energy per person than even the other well-to-do countries. And so if you get that mindset of how do we conserve it, you help with the local water shortage, you save money. So awareness is where it all begins, and conservation is a piece of what we need to do.
Oh, well, Bill and Melinda Gates, thank you very much. Thank you all. The students, they were just, leaning in.
Great conversation.
Had a very good conversation like that, and it's just, boy, what would your superpower be? Just think about that. What would your superpower be? You can read Bill and Melinda Gates' full letter at our website, goodmorningamerica.com on Yahoo.